Why do people go to B2B events?
To learn. To network. To spend company money.
And what is the worst part of B2B events?
The sessions. Going alone. The entertainment.
What if people loved the sessions? And what if we helped them meet people? And what if the entertainment made them want to stay?
He's a god genius.
No sleep till Brooklyn!
Where are we? Oh, we're right there. Yeah.
So you have to.
Can I just drag it?
No, there's a. Go back.
This thing is so wonky, dude.
You don't tap it. You drag and scroll.
Oh, here's our Waymo. Let's go.
We'll do all the driving, so please don't touch the steering wheel or pedals during your ride. Please keep your
I've been to a lot of B2B events throughout my career, and the worst part is typically the content. It just feels like it's not vetted, it's not super valuable, it's the same recycled messaging, it's the same speakers on every circuit, a lot of it's product pitches. So at Goldenhour, we vetted everything, we made sure that it was going to be high impact, high value for our attendees.
It gives you a holistic view of what your ICP.
We didn't come up with like the biggest influencers, bring them in and figure out what they were going to talk about. We built the track and then we went out and we found the best people who could deliver the information that we were trying to help people with. It's the people that are going to be able to teach that concept the best.
Yeah, it's a content first approach to event planning.
Yeah.
We made the content, we found the right person for it.
COVID completely reinvented the event marketing playbook. One of the things we learned after the pandemic is that people don't travel to events just for content anymore. They expect to be able to join a live stream or watch the sessions after the show is over. People will travel to be part of an experience. And yet so many events today are still focused on the old pre-pandemic execution playbooks that are over-indexed on content optimized for in-person attendance and bragging rights associated with filling up conference halls.
What are you most excited about for today?
To be honest, it's the people here. The people here are spectacular. I mean, all these people that we've been creating with from afar come together, and then also it's a killer location.
I feel like I'm bumping shoulders with people I've seen on LinkedIn give incredible thought leadership. Like, I'm in the room with the people that I want to learn from in real time and actually like shaking their hands, asking them questions. So I think it's just like bringing the right people together in like a super cool venue is just sort of creating the environment where I think a lot of knowledge is going to get shared, and I'm excited about it.
The conference agenda has to balance both inspiration and education. And while there's no hard and fast rule around this, the intention for the keynote stage is around inspiration, while most of the education happens in the breakouts. And you can't have one or the other, as independently they're not enough. Find speakers for your keynote stage that validate your strategic narrative and inspire your audience. Be extremely thoughtful with breakouts to ensure that attendees can leave with tangible best practices that they can't get anywhere else. At Goldenhour, we wanted to feature industry veterans on our keynote stage who can help us validate our claim that the old marketing playbook no longer works.
You know, attribution, I think, is a waste of time. It's never going.
We wanted to spotlight innovative use cases of marketers who are finding success executing the new playbook for audience marketing.
Today, and ask ourselves, what would happen if the community development of Peloton and the incredible on-demand part of Peloton met the Netflix side
And we wanted our audience to hear from CMOs, CEOs, and even board members that they are right to challenge the current status quo in our practice.
A whole bunch of CMOs, VP of marketing reach out when we did the budget cuts, a year or so ago, asking, should we cut brand or cut demand or cut this or cut that? And it's a false dichotomy.
And we wanted to feature voices from outside of our industry, in our case, the creator economy, to help inspire new ideas.
Creators are going to have the ability to earn either cash with businesses as they drive sales, but also earn into equity with businesses.
Everybody wants that instantaneous fix because we've been fed performance marketing, for the last few years.
Your goal with the breakouts is to make sure that everyone leaves feeling like they could tactically implement what they learned in those sessions. At Goldenhour, we organized the afternoon into 3 separate tracks. We called it production, distribution, and outcomes, which mapped pretty nicely to our strategic narrative around the future of marketing. Production was all about the new playbook for content marketing, which we believe is a central pillar of owned media. Distribution is all about demand creation, how marketers can compete for the attention of their buyer audience in order to generate pipeline. And outcomes is all about impact, how to prove the impact of the new marketing playbook on revenue. Unlike our keynote sessions, which were about 25 minutes in length, we changed the format of the breakouts into 45-minute workshops and found speakers who were willing to go much deeper into the content than traditional sessions.
Here to speak, but mostly learn how we can engage our customers, how we can learn from the best at creative video, how we can learn the best at distribution. So I'm taking notes all day long.
The other main reason people attend events in person is the human connection, to meet someone they otherwise wouldn't have met that could help them advance in their careers. Now, not everyone at your conference is an extrovert who loves working the show floor, but all of your attendees are human beings who are attending with a desire to belong, to connect, to network.
I've never been to a conference alone. I've always had someone to kind of anchor onto. So I'm just feeling a little nervous. I'm gonna have to introduce myself a lot today to people who don't know me, but hey, that's the name of the founder game, right? Holy shit. I think there's some kind of skit going on here. Just stepping outside for a second because I think I'm realizing how much of an introvert I am. A lot of rubbing shoulders in there. All right, going back.
Personally, I'm an introvert. I don't get a ton of energy working the show floor, but I know that so many people do. So with Goldenhour, we wanted to create an on-site experience that curated relationship building for both introvert and extrovert alike. We created this structured networking moment at the happy hour that gave attendees who wanted to participate a compelling reason to approach each other to discuss a certain topic. We invested in what we're calling mind, body, and soul activations, including an optional group workout in the morning and even a quiet room just off the show floor. You need to create approachable networking opportunities for any and all of your attendees. For example, we wanted to be highly intentional about giving attendees access to the speakers. And we did this by placing a speaker at each table during lunch so attendees could interface with whichever speaker resonated with them. Now, this allowed attendees to build relationship and network with the speakers rather than a one-way engagement from the stage to the audience. There is great power for brands who are able to curate a shared experience that's exclusive to their on-site attendees. Whether that means hosting an after party at a unique venue, or booking a musical act, or whatever else may come to mind. These moments can forge real relationships with your attendees that long outlast their time on site together at your conference. 7 years later, and I still get comments from members of the customer success community from our 90s themed Pulse after party on the USS Hornet aircraft carrier. A big opportunity at Goldenhour was afforded to us with the venue that we selected. It was the rooftop, where we continued the lunch experience at dinner by sitting family style with a beautiful unobstructed view of the Manhattan skyline. Dinners are this weird thing at B2B conferences that are exclusive only to VIPs or speakers or whatever. We flipped that concept on its head and hosted a seated dinner for everyone as a primary focal point for attending in person. And since we named the event Goldenhour, we knew we wanted to do something special at sunset. One of the worst parts about conferences is the entertainment. Most people go and they get their free drink and immediately go off site to do something else. You need to ensure that people remain on site and are engaged by creating a memorable experience that's better than something they can go off and do on their own. I had this vision of a musical performance on the rooftop at Goldenhour overlooking the Manhattan skyline. The only question was, how can we find a talent that we can work with within our budget?
We had been filming an emo marketing video of a Yellow Card song. He posted that he wanted a violinist who could do a backflip on camera. And more than a dozen people responded and said Lindsey Sterling.
Perfectly aligned to our vision for owned media. She's a renowned violinist, she's a dancer, and she built her own audience on YouTube and now sells out arenas and concert venues. It was one of those mental pictures that I just couldn't shake. Sunset, rooftop, overlooking Manhattan, at Goldenhour with incredible acoustic violin to mark the moment.
That's how we landed on Lindsey.
You're here. Please make sure it's clear before exiting.
That is nice.
The old way of live streaming conferences was to effectively hit the record button on the camera in the back of the general session room and let it run. But the virtual event craze of 2020, 2021 taught us that our attention spans at home are much different than they are in the room. And the best of breed conferences are producing a parallel digital experience that is optimized for the online viewer, creating a more inclusive attendee experience for those who can't travel, and ultimately enabling marketers to cast a wider net of conversion into their owned audience of subscribers. If we learned anything from the pandemic, it's that people don't want to sit at home and watch 30-minute panels on their laptops. So our ambition for Goldenhour was to create a digital experience that was optimized for the digital viewer. It would be hosted. It would feature expert commentary from VIP marketers, almost like the NFL Game Day or TNT halftime show for those who are familiar. We'd host exclusive interviews with onstage presenters, and we'd create other dedicated content just for the digital viewer.
I like to redesign websites for a generation that needs a voice at the table, and that's Gen Z website redesigns that I did for Audience Plus and any other company that wants it.
What's up, all my Goldenhour friends? It's your boy, Kyle, aka The Rizzler, here to do another website Gen Z redesign. This time, it's for Audience Plus. Let's take a look at this H1 right off the bat. Your audience is cooked AF, bro. Manifest, stack views, and convert, then run it back again, young bucks. It's giving trauma and big Pisces energy.
You know, right now, I think this is the biggest creative risk that we're taking because in effect, we're hosting 2 events at the same time with a very small team.